It's that super flow, no, she my flow. Yeah, it's that
How a reality TV show has catalyzed the rise of rap in China. It's like the judge on the show, Hot Dog, said, he adds. Hip-hop music has been hiding underground for too long, now it's time to take a breath above ground. Bridge, a member of the Chongqing-based Go$H rap crew, made the final 8 of the competition. Gay, also a member of the Go$H community, ended up being joint winner with PG1, from Nguyen in the northeast. But the Chongqing pair's success didn't come completely out of the blue. Even before the rap of China hit screens, the city was fast becoming a hotbed of hip-hop talent, largely since trap music started becoming a force there along with its neighboring Sichuan province around 2015. So, what's so special about this region with regards to rappers? Has the rap of China given them a proper platform to the future, or is it just a fad? And how exactly can these artists thrive in a system with so many restrictions on free speech in the media? In the early 1990s, when Bridge was wearing nappies rather than enormously baggy t-shirts and chains, DJs started playing imported US hip-hop records in Beijing and Shanghai clubs. It was another 10 years, though, before rap groups started emerging in the country, most notably the Beijing-based, multinational 4-piece Nguyen, of which the originally members included an American and Canadian. In the late 2000s, rap trio IN3, also from Beijing, found modest success with their hazy, weed-drenched beats and slightly naughty lyrics about hating teachers and corruption. Some sleep in underground passages, some use government money to pay for their banquets. IN3 rapped on their biggest song, Beijing Evening News, hardly a revolutionary call to arms, but a gentle swipe at authorities. The song's lyrics, some drink, some take drugs and fuck around without a condom, probably didn't endear them to China's Ministry of Culture, either. Acts such as IN3, and other veterans such as Chengdu-based Old Panda, have influenced a whole new wave of Chinese rappers showcased on the Rap of China, but not as much as all the US rappers these acts consume over the internet. Bridge, for instance, says that his hip-hop initiation came from watching NBA games on TV and getting into rappers like Cheng, who are closely associated with the sport. He found like-minded fans online via the Chinese messaging software QQ, swapping links for tracks by the likes of Nas, Jay-Z and 50 Cent. We didn't have teachers for this, so the internet was our teacher, he says. Many of these hip-hop and basketball-obsessed kids found a sense of community with Go$H as they started working on music in makeshift studios, in their apartments using laptops. The collective emerged in Chongqing in 2013, having morphed from a loose hip-hop crew called Keep Real that formed in 2003. From the off, Go$H had a decidedly US-influenced sound. Check Gang $T by Gay, Watch Below, or Bridge and K11's Stray Work Every Day, which quickly earned the collective underground success. Go$H aren't alone in creating trap-influenced trap either, there's also the likes of Tai and Higher Brothers in Chengdu, Sichuan's capital. Tai's music is both melodic and flowing, with songs such as Real Life often having as much in common with Smooth, auto-tune soaked R&B as they do harder edge trap. Meanwhile, Chongqing rappers such as Gay tend to be more aggressive, something Bridge puts down to the city having a harder edge than its neighbor. Hip-hop can't sound aggressive and the mentality of Chongqing people is quite blunt, he says. Like a pepper, ready to blow your taste buds. Despite these differences, however, both Chengdu and Chongqing are seen by many as the joint epicenter of the current Chinese hip-hop resurgence. Venues such as Little Bar in Chengdu and Chongqing's Nuts Live House are regularly packed for hip-hop shows. Higher Brothers, a four-piece, are the breakout Chengdu group. Their song Made in China has racked up 8 million views on YouTube, which is especially impressive considering that YouTube is blocked in China by the government. The band will tour the US next month and have been signed by American management and production company 88 Rising. Beyond getting onto YouTube, it's impressive that people are even making hip-hop in China at all. President Xi Jinping is currently orchestrating a mass crackdown on freedom of speech in the arts in the country, and since he came to power in 2012 the noose of censorship has tightened. Lyrics seen as vulgar, pornographic or anti-authority are regularly snubbed out, with musicians sometimes forced to make public apologies or, as happened to IN3, suffering more serious consequences. In 2015 China's Ministry of Culture published a list of 120 songs banned in China for their content, with 17 of them by IN3. The songs were mostly from the previous decade, but regardless, members of the group were detained for 5 days without charge, after having hoods placed over their heads by police and being driven to a jail on the edge of Beijing. Police told them their lyrical content was to blame and they've since slipped away from public performances, to stay out of trouble. Then, last week PG1, joint winner of the Rap in China, was forced to apologize for using the word bitch in his 2015 song Christmas Eve after he was reported to authorities following his win on the show. I was deeply influenced by black music in the early days when I was exposed to hip-hop culture, and I didn't have a correct understanding of core values of hip-hop culture, he said in his apology, which sounds pretty damn clumsy when translated from Mandarin to say the least. Fuckski. Hearing stark examples like these, it's easy to imagine this new generation of rappers living in fear of a police baton rap on the door. However, this doesn't appear to be the case. Bridge says that working in the genre is about seeing it as a game, just like the TV show was. The country sets rules against me, but I can always find ways around them. This is the fun part of the game. For Bridge, finding a way around rules seems to be writing lyrics about getting money and generally being a player. Just check out the brilliantly bouncy Boss. My lyrics are okay because my style is just about everyday life, easy and positive, he says, letting a gentle billow of smoke escape from his lungs and spread over the table. I never thought about any government lyrics. I love my country. We're having this popularity right now because the country is promoting hip-hop culture. If they weren't, we wouldn't have this attention. Advertisement. Higher Brothers walk closer to the red line, but with skill and humor. In their song WeChat, about China's enormously popular messaging app, they get away with referencing censorship by flipping any criticism into a funny celebration of the app. There's no Skype, no Facebook, no Twitter, no Instagram, and we use WeChat here. They rap on the song, permeated by WeChat message alert sound effects and a gruff guest spot from cult favorite South Korean rapper Keith Ape. When writing songs we try to avoid certain areas, says Masawai, one of the four higher brothers. We have different societies and cultures, our environment is more conservative. Jong raps under the name Fuxki, but is far more polite than his moniker suggests.